All right, guys, Andrew here, Bolt Bros. Wanted to reach out and have a real quick, just thoughts, reaction videos to all the pressers recently with Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley at the Combine. And links of those are going to be down in the description below. I highly recommend you watch them because they're very informative. I want to talk about Telesco first. Tom Telesco's best quality as a general manager is finding value in the draft. He does an amazing job at that. We have 11 picks this year. It's 11. It's a lot of players that we can get, and also we can get outside of the draft as well, too. Undrafted free agents, much like Austin Ekeler or Michael Davis. The thing about Tom Telesco is he does a very good job of picking the best available player. One thing that I will always say, he will always pick the best available player. So just remember that in the draft. I think about last year when we picked up Josh Palmer, he got so much heat because a lot of people thought Josh Palmer would be a fourth, maybe fifth round draft pick. He was picked in the third round. And he's been absolutely amazing for us. So just keep in mind during the draft with Tom Telesco, he doesn't care what other people's draft boards say. He cares about what the Chargers draft board says. Secondary, I want to go through Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley, he was on the McAfee show, Pat McAfee show, and amazing, interviews across the board. And again, Telesco and Staley both have always had consistent messages. They don't deviate from their conversation. The thing that I really took away from a lot of his pressers, specifically for Brandon Staley, was that he keeps talking about a complete team. He talked about that as a complete team last year when our season was ended by the Raiders. And he said, hey, we built a team, essentially a culture, but we need to build a championship team. And he understands that we don't quite have all the pieces. And everything I gathered from him and from these conversations, he never came out and directly said, look, we need to bolster up the defense. Statistically, that's what lost us our games last year. Let's make that very clear, right? Statistics prove it. We were top 5 offense, one of the worst defenses in the league by far. In special teams, we weren't very good as well, too. But I think about where we can be through the draft and also through the free agency market. I want to talk about free agency specifically because my brother already talked about Mike Williams, and I wanted to get my thoughts on that as well, too. The Chargers absolutely need to sign Mike Williams. Not really for any other particular reason, but to show the fans that we are committed to winning a championship. Again, one of my biggest gripes against Dean Spanos as an owner is that he is not a committed owner to win a championship. And look, at the end of the day, we got Justin Herbert, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, right? We got Austin Ekeler. We got all the needs we ever need. If we sign Mike Williams, it will elevate our team. It'll show our players, hey, you compete and you show us that you're valuable. We're going to sign you for a long-term contract. That is huge for an organization, right? Because again, Brandon Staley talked about a team. We have a team. We have a good culture. But we need a championship team. And you cannot make a championship team by a bunch of rookies or just signing people in the draft and expecting them to step in year one and be an absolute stud. I mean, look at Josh Palmer specifically. I mean, he was in there quite a bit. He had some good numbers, but he was not our number one producer, and that was Mike Williams. But think about how much better Josh Palmer would be with 1 or 2 more years with Mike Williams moving forward. So, again, a few things and one last thing I will definitely say, by far this year, we're going to focus on the defense. I really feel like if we were to give it a number, we were looking at 75% defensive signings on, especially in the draft, and also in free agency. I think we're really going to make a huge splash for defense. I'd say 25% on the offense. Because we all know Justin Herbert is going to score points. We just know that. He's going to score. And so all we need to do is stop our opponents here and there, and life is good. And you know what? We are going to win a championship, boys and girls. You heard me say it here first. We are going to win a Super Bowl championship. Love you guys. Bolt Bros. Go Chargers.